welcome to the fifth. We're now at fifth episode of the Catenaccio Podcast. Here now only on audio because we had some technical issues for a bit. So the next episodes will only be available on audio on Spreaker. And here we are with the boys from Catenaccio Podcast. And before we can actually start, as always, I've got to introduce the panel. So after me, the boy himself, Luca Hofmeister. What's up, Luca?
Hey, everyone. Glad to be back.
Next up, back from being kidnapped from the Sinaloa cartel, Emiliano Colangelo, who had a bit of a rough flight. He might give us a couple insights about it in a minute.
Yeah, finally back in Italy. Maybe now I can get every podcast in, so happy to be back.
And then last but not least, our own little Lazialino, Jonathan Kunze-Koncevitz. What's up, Johnny?
Yeah, great week. Lazio won, Inter, Milan, Napoli all dropped points, back in business.
Okay, I hate this guy, man. I am your host for today, Alessandro. And before we can actually get on and talk about our teams, we got one very happy guy in our panel. But before we can get on, we always got to thank Radio Rossonera for giving us the opportunity to be here and to be on this platform and giving us... just giving us the opportunity to do our thing and express our art, as we would say. But let's move on swiftly, guys. As you can hear from my tone of voice, something happened yesterday, which wasn't
unfortunate.
Pleasant. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Should we... actually, let's leave that for last. I'd like to leave that for last. So we're going to go through the results as we always do, guys. As you may know by now, the Catenaccio Podcast works this way. We go through the results, we go through the big games, we go through the table. We might have a discussion on something specific, and then we do the team of the week, and then we look at our predictions from last week. We do our predictions for the next one. So send us comments, send us opinions, send us predictions. Do whatever you want. Send us a lot of stuff. Send us insults, whatever you want.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on.
If anyone gets a perfect score on predictions, we'll figure out something to send you.
Yeah, probably be a package bomb.
Yeah.
For whoever's listening, please.
I do not associate.
I do not associate with this guy. But Matchday 16, let's get on to it. Let's get on to results. So the first result was a 12:30 match at Cagliari. Cagliari against Benevento, and surprise, shocking result. Let's talk about it. Is it shocking? Benevento winning 2-1 against Cagliari. Nainggolan had a debut. First half by Nainggolan, I don't know if you guys saw that, was incredible. The guy looked like I was expecting him to be a fat tub of lard running around the pitch, but he was incredible. At a certain point, I think he really had it in him, but he wanted to show that he was still fit and ready. There was a point where he basically just got the ball back from someone in the middle of the pitch on a counter, ran. At a certain point, he just looks up, basically at the middle of the pitch, and just shoots. And the keeper's caught a bit off guard. He still saves it, but it was incredible. It was really Nainggolan level. But what you guys think? What you think of Benevento beating Cagliari?
If I can start, last week we were actually talking about potential formation Cagliari could use now that Nainggolan is back. And I actually liked what Di Francesco came up with João Pedro and Nainggolan behind the striker, and then a nice three-man midfield. So when I saw that, I liked the idea. I thought that Cagliari was going to show out. Nainggolan is back. They're playing at home. I would have expected a win all day. So yeah, definitely I'm shocked that Benevento pulled through.
What about you guys? What you think, Amy?
I'm shocked too, bro. I was sure Cagliari was gonna win.
Amy?
I actually really like this Benevento team because they play really good football, in my opinion. Of course, it'll be a while before he gets back used into playing, because even if you train, it's not the same thing, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, surprising result still.
Yeah, we could consider almost, Benevento deserved the points previously against Milan. Yeah. They deserved the result. In other matches, they deserved the result. So I'm happy that at least here they kind of won some of those points back. Yeah,
there's a lot of big games against Juve and Lazio where I think, Emiliano, we were speaking privately about this, how Benevento is one of the most frustrating teams in Serie A because you see them, we do everything perfectly apart from just that last finish that goes and go. But yeah, I'm honestly happy with him. I think we all kind of predicted that out of the teams that came up, they'd be the best one. And to be fair, they are in the left side of the table right now. They are sitting in 10th, I think. And it's I don't think it's a shock. I really don't find it shocking. All right, moving on to the next game, Bologna-Udinese. I was expecting this to be a really boring game, but it was actually quite a good one. Tomiyasu getting on the score sheet. The guy is really impressing right now. I thought he was about to come to Milan, and I honestly thought he was going to be a good player, but let's see. Udinese, again, at least they didn't lose, let's just put it that way, because they're a team with a lot of potential, and last week's 4-1 loss to Juve could have killed them, but evidently they can have a comeback just like they did against Bologna. Okay, one of the big games of the weekend, one of the biggest ones. We'll get right onto it right now. It is.
I could just quickly comment about Bologna. Sorry to interrupt, but 7 games without a win now, 5 draws and 2 losses.
Funny enough, they're in the top 15 longest unbeaten streaks in Europe. Because of that.
Nice. It's 5 draws in a row, I think.
That's football for you. That is football for you. Listen, I think you know what it is. Mihailovic, I always thought he was like an okay like motivator coach at Milan, but I never like had that much love for him. Apart from that derby win, there was nothing that really sparked something in me of him as a coach. And
he's good at promoting youth players. Yeah, that's definitely one of his strong points.
Yeah, but I don't see him as that good of a coach anyway. But let's get on to one of the only big teams that had a really good weekend this weekend. It is Lazio, who won 2-1 against Fiorentina. Jonathan, tell us about the game.
Basically, we put them in a locker, but Fiorentina so bad. Like, you can't imagine. They are so bad. Like, the only reason we conceded a goal was because Strakosha, I don't know what was wrong with him. He literally can rewatch the goal. He was, when you take a kickoff, your head should be looking you should be looking up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You should be looking at the players. His head was locked on the ball. He was looking at the ball, so he passed it to Fiorentina. I think he passed it to Callejon. He literally passed it to Callejon, who then just gave it to Vlahovic, and we had to concede a penalty. So, Fiorentina, they're so bad. I don't know. They really seem to struggle to score. And our team, I don't know, we didn't play that well. We did just enough to beat them. But honestly, things are looking really dire for Fiorentina. I don't know why they changed their manager for Prandelli. I feel bad for their owner. He seemed like a nice guy, but honestly, his decisions are always so baffling. I don't know.
What do you guys think? Is Fiorentina that bad?
I think it confirms what we were talking about maybe 2 podcasts ago, that the Juve game was a major fluke. And if it hadn't been for that Cuadrado red card in the first half, it would have totally been a different result. I was expecting them to build on that, but they definitely aren't.
Amy, what do you think?
Well, yeah, they're disappointed. It's the same Fiorentina we've seen the last 2 seasons, so I'm not surprised anymore. Let's just put it like that. But I wanted to quickly touch up on Strakosha that Jonathan said. Do you think it's a good decision benching him? Because even Reina has been very shaky.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the reason why we benched Strakosha, he played this game, by the way. The reason why he was benched is because he had COVID, and then he was injured or something. Okay. So we gave Reina some time. And I think a problem with Strakosha was, before in Lazio, Strakosha would play every single game in the season. Europa League, Coppa Italia, Serie A, he played every single game. He had no competition. So maybe the purpose of Reina is, to try and get Strakosha a little more fired up. And I don't know, Strakosha this season has been playing he wasn't playing the best, but Reina also doesn't play the best. But what Reina has, Strakosha doesn't, is very good feet. And he actually knows how to, deliver the ball to players across the pitch. But then Strakosha's better. They both have their own strengths, so I don't know.
I don't trust Reina. I think a characteristic of those short keepers is that when they get old and they don't have their agility and their reflexes anymore, then they become kind of useless because, if you're 2 meters, you can still dive across the goal relatively easily. If you're as tall as Reina, it becomes a bit harder.
Yeah, Strakosha is definitely a lot better than Reina in reflexes. So I think Strakosha is going to be going back to being our main keeper. People forget. I think Spurs offered us 35 million euros for Strakosha 2 summers ago.
That's a lot.
Was it when Lloris got injured? Was it because of that?
I think so, yeah.
In hindsight, for half a year.
It would have been a great decision for Lazio if we sold him and then banked on Cranio or Muru. who are both really looking like fantastic keepers.
But Johnny, you said that you don't see stuff going well for Fiorentina, like as a projection as well. What about Lazio after that not good draw and that loss to Milan, the not good draw against Genoa? Does this win change the tide a bit, or do you think it's just you mentioned we just did enough to win? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? You know, what do you see?
I don't know. I really think we need to do bits this January market, because if you watch us play, like we have so many players who are so useless and so bad. Like our wing backs are terrible. You know, it's kind of depressing watching the team play, and we always play the first half really well. We don't let our opponents play. And then the second half, it's always the same. In the second half, our team, like, we're dead. Energy is out, and we're just conceding chances. So if we don't do anything this January, we're not getting the top 6, in my opinion.
All right, well, let's move on to the other team from Rome, which I think a lot of people underestimated. I think no one... when we, in the media and whatnot, we don't speak about how well Roma is doing this year. I think no one expecting them, and they are up there. They're third, and I think Emiliano will be talking about them later when we talk about the standings. But a really good win from Roma. Solid 3-1 win against Crotone with a big, as you'd call it, turnover. A lot of the starters not playing, including Veretout and Dzeko, who I think was injured. Borja Mayoral really stepping up to the plate. He could have easily gotten a hat-trick because he scored 2, of which one was an absolute wonder goal. Third one, he actually won a penalty, but then Mkhitaryan stole it from him. So who knows? It could have been a hat-trick for all we know. Crotone getting one back, but really not doing much. And then I think the next big game we're going to talk about, and I'd like to hear Amy present this as well, is Sampdoria against Inter, and Sampdoria won 2-1 with 2 goals by the ex-players, former players of Inter Milan, Candreva and Keita. I'd like to hear what Amy has to say about the game. Amy, what's up?
I think it was basically our inability to finish our chances. 2 weeks ago, we saw our game against Crotone, which was the exact opposite. I think we only missed 1 shot on target, if I'm not mistaken. And this game was the exact opposite. We missed a penalty that instantly changes the mentality of the team. You don't know what to do. You go crazy. Then we concede a penalty. We go 1-0 down. And then from there, it's just like try to recover as much as you can. It wasn't enough in the end, but nothing to complain about Sampdoria. They played their game. They did what they had to do.
A lot of people online have been saying that Inter's team is quite short in terms of quality. There's when someone like Lukaku gets injured like he did, there's something missing in the team, and it can't really afford, even though everyone says that they have on paper maybe the best team in Italy. There's a lot of people who still say that the team is quite short. What do you think, and what do you guys think?
Yeah,
me first.
It's definitely for sure. Like it's definitely true. Like I think it's a characteristic of most Conte teams where you have some really, really world-class players, really good players, and then like the team is surrounded by not very good players, a bit weaker players. Like our bench on paper it's really good. We had Nainggolan, we now sent him away. We have Eriksen, he's a castaway basically. Vidal is a former. He's just a shadow of himself. There's so many players that we don't use. Even sending away Godin was a massive mistake. In my opinion.
Yeah. So who's 4 players? Sorry guys, I'll get back to you as well. But who's 4 players that Inter just can't do without? So if one of these is missing, you can really see it in the team. Just 4.
Should I start?
Let's hear it from Amy first, and then I'd like to hear you guys.
Well, one is definitely Lukaku.
Okay.
I think Brozovic, the way we play without him is just, it's not the same. He really makes the team go round. I don't think it's actually 4 players. I think you could put Barella in there. Then the 4th one is up between De Vrij, Skriniar. Sometimes it depends. The 4th player, it kind of changes from game to game.
Johnny, you look
Hakimi as well.
What about you? Who do you think?
I was going to say the exact same thing Amy said. I was going to say De Vrij, Lukaku, Brozovic, Barella.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Yeah, those 4 are so good.
Yeah. Just to build on what Amy was saying about Conte's teams, only having some world-class players. I think Conte often really relies on those mediocre players stepping up. When you think about Chelsea's title-winning season, they had players like Marcos Alonso getting probably had more than 10 assists, maybe almost 10 goals with all the free kicks.
Am I the only one who thinks he's actually a good player? I really like him.
Oh, he's a
He
good
popped
player.
off in 13 as well.
Yeah, he's a good player, but he's not world-class by any stretch of the imagination. So I do get what Amy's saying. Another thing I wanted to mention is I'm not one to make excuses for Inter, but I'd like to hear Amy's opinion on this. That was one of the worst pitches I've ever seen in Serie A.
Yeah.
You had pigeons covering about 30% of it. It looked like a potato field. And while, of course, you say, well, the pitch is played on by both teams, obviously Inter's gameplay suffers it more than Sampdoria. So I don't know what you guys think, but I think that's just unacceptable in Serie A to have a pitch of that type.
I mean, not just... to be fair, we're lucky it didn't flood. Because knowing the Ferraris, it's almost a guarantee. When it starts raining... Sorry.
Yeah. I'd like to say as well, I think if there was a stat online somewhere that it's one of the highest injury full pitches in the whole of Serie A, and especially when there's just a tad of rain, it just becomes an absolute shit show to play there. I don't want to make excuses for Inter as well, but especially when you've conceded 2, really coming back is hard. It's not easy.
The problem started with the penalty miss. Because if you go 1-0 up, I think it was 10 minutes.
Yeah, why did the Sanchez take it? I swear he's got 8 out of 12 missed in his career or something.
Lautaro misses a ton as well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, no one else on the team is really a penalty taker. I would have given it to Brozovic maybe.
Brozovic is always cool, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they gave it to Sanchez.
They're right, bro.
Yeah, whatever.
And he was on Ambrosio, by the way, because at the end of the game, that was a really bad challenge on him. I haven't read anything, but his knee did not look healthy after that.
It's an MCL. It's not a tear. I think it's I can't remember the term. It's like bruised, let's say. I don't know the exact medical term.
Yeah. No, because that looked bad. I was kind of worried about him.
Yeah,
he was screaming a lot as well.
Hopefully it's nothing too bad. Amy, I've got one last question to you before we move on to the other games. But we are in transfer market season, and I'd just like to announce in transfer market news that I'm really happy about. But Fenerbahce just signed on basically a free Mesut Ozil for 6 months, and Arsenal is going to pay for his wages. Yeah, it's basically official. Would you have liked Ozil at Inter? You know, he didn't come for a lot of money or something like that. He is a world class. I personally would have. I don't know. I would have thought about him in Milan for a bit. What do you think, Amy? You wouldn't have taken him instead of Eriksen? You drop off Eriksen and then get Ozil?
I think at this point in their careers, Eriksen's better. And if you could have fit someone like Eriksen in your team, you won't fit Ozil. He's even lazier in coming back. He's slower. He has better feet, I guess, but just not a fit for our team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Fair enough. What about you, Johnny? Do you think he would have looked good at Inter?
Not sure. Inter has a weird curse where many good players look bad there, so I don't know.
Yeah, like what's his name? Gabigol. Okay, let's move on. All right, let's move on.
Can I say one last thing about this game?
Yeah, what's
Damsgaard play. How good is this guy, man?
Oh,
he's got a shit hairline, but he's a good player.
Talking about that. On the second goal, Bastoni, I've always said that guy can't defend. He's so good going forward. His feet are really good, but he can't defend. He just can't do it. Remember
he got shot on.
I mean, I think I would see him better in a 2-back, right? Because in a 3-back, you're often isolated to play 1v1s, and since he's so tall and kind of clunky, a player like Damsgaard is going to get around him all day.
Yeah.
Bayarda, we were once discussing getting a ones-to-watch list that we were going to develop. I think Damsgaard is definitely one we would need added on there, other with Messias we've mentioned previously, and a couple more. But yeah, Damsgaard is definitely a great player.
Yeah, I really like him as well. He's also quite young. He's got a lot of potential. All right, let's move on to the next game. We got Atalanta thrashing Parma 3-0, and I am really happy to say this. I know Amy is really happy to hear this, but drumroll please, Liverani has been sacked. What a clown! The clown is finally. You know what? I can't believe, right, I can't believe this is actually true. I swear to God, 2 managers have been sacked before Gianpaolo this year. This season. How is it going? How is this happening? This man, I can't. I remember, what was it, our first or second podcast? You're like, yeah, this guy's gonna be out of a job in the morning. No, like, well,
he's a con artist.
Juventus is coming back. Parma had a lot of absences as well, but still, Atalanta. I don't even think it's Parma's fault. It's just Atalanta is too good. They just play really well. I don't think it's very much to say about this game apart from
not a good start for the American owners. For the new American owners, Fiorentina, Parma, and Milan, I guess, is American owned, but it's a bit of a different situation.
Quickly about Atalanta, I think you're seeing how they turn it on towards this time of the year. How I had said that they usually start very slowly, but then when they pick up the pace, they're hard to stop.
It also looks like they really don't. I think, personally, Pessina is doing really well there. I think Pessina is making us or at least them not regret good old Papo. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. The guy looks really solid. I think Milan had some kind of option to buy him back for less. I think we should have thought about it for a second because I think he used to be in our youth system. All right, let's move on quickly. Torino against Hellas, 1-0. Di Marco scoring absolute wonder goal. What an absolute...
He only scores wonder goals, bro. This guy
that guy is so good. I remember, Amy, do you remember Inter Parma?
Yeah, I remember that.
I was at the stadium. How can I forget?
Emiliano. Amy was at the stadium. That sucks. And then Bremer scoring. Oh, Christ. Yeah, what's up, Amy? What are you about to say?
It's another great example of players we are unable to use. Like, I can't believe Ashley Young and Perisic are worse than him. Like, who thought, let's send away Di Marco because these two guys are much, much, much better than him.
Yeah, I don't
get it. I don't get how they think.
How old is Di Marco? Let me look it up.
He must be young.
Yeah, Di Marco is not old. He is 23.
I don't think he's that young.
He's 23. Oh, man, I would have kept it. I swear he was on the bench for a long time.
It's not even one of those cases where you say, okay, let's keep him and we have to start him, right? And it's not like you made a lot of money giving him to Parma. So you would think Perisic is coming back. Let's sell Perisic and use Di Marco as a backup to Ashley Young. I mean, it doesn't really make sense.
Shocking. Also, why buy Kolarov when you can get Di Marco? I know he was playing as center back, but still. Anyway, we shouldn't talk about the past. What's up?
Yeah. I just wanted to say Conte loves 30-plus-year-olds, so that's why.
Yeah, and we're talking about in terms of football, by the way, for anyone who's listening. Right, moving on. Sassuolo against Genoa. Sassuolo winning against Genoa. Boga had a great game. Genoa were looking, they looked like they could hurt for a second there, but nothing too solid. I think the real winner out of Genoa, who's really popping off right now, is Eldor Shurumudov, the Uzbekistani striker. He's really showing some good stuff. Sassuolo, I think, now that Caputo is back and Locatelli is back, are starting to get their pace up going. They're getting it back slowly and carefully. I think Boga might start waking up from now on, which could be really good for them. So we'll see. I think nothing really major to take out of this apart from Sassuolo finally, winning and getting back on track, and we'll see about the table in a minute. I think the next 2 games we're going to see are really important. So the first one is Napoli against Spezia, which was a really, really weird game. Napoli dominated, I think, for 88 minutes of that game and still lost in 11 against 10. Insigne, I think, had about 15 shots on target and every single one was saved. He just couldn't throw that ball in. And then eventually they score with Petagna. Everything's great. Life is good. But then penalty, Nzola drags it away, puts it away. And then Spezia remain in 10 and manage in the 88th minute to grab the ball. Nzola shoots, hits the post. 2 Napoli players are there who could clear it. And then good old Milan boy Pobega comes in and slots it in. And then I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what to say about Napoli. What do you guys think? I have no clue if they're a good team or not anymore. What do you guys think? Hey, Johnny, you look like you want to say something.
Man, I say the same thing every week. These guys are so inconsistent. Honestly, if you're a betting man, do not ever bet on Napoli. You don't know what they're going to do. I really don't know what else to say, man. Like, these guys are I thought Lazio was inconsistent. These guys take it a notch further. It's actually insane. Like, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say about Napoli.
From this game, you really see the lack of a striker, of a real striker up top. Because you need someone to finish all those chances. Politano as well missed like 3 or 4.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Kudos to Provido. He had a really good game.
Yeah,
I will be nominating him for Keeper of the Week.
yeah,
He made one mistake. And it was offside.
Yeah, man. Someone basically, for anyone who's listening and who didn't see the game, someone shot from outside the box. I think it was Politano, and he basically fumbled it into his own goal, like in a really, really like goofy way. And he was really lucky because it was an offside. Because if not, it would have been probably flop of the year. Luca, what do you think of that?
Well, yeah, actually, I was watching the match. Petagna scored, and I turned off the game because at that point, I wasn't interested anymore. I said, okay, they're going to go on to score a few more, or they're just going to hold the lead. And I didn't feel like throwing away another 30 minutes of my life watching a boring football game. And that was quite a mistake because I would have seen a nice comeback. So yeah, that's just to say that I really didn't expect it. And I have to go along with what John is saying, that way too inconsistent. And if they really want to contend for the title eventually, they need to make up for that.
All right, let's move on to the biggest game of the weekend. The tone of my voice kind of says it all. It was Milan against Juventus. Milan went into this game with, I think, a couple hours before the game with some terrible news that Krunic and Rebic were both tested positive to COVID-19, which meant that basically the starting 11 has been decimated. Calabria had to play in midfield instead of Tonali because he had a red card against Benevento, and instead of Krunic, so it was Chiesa and Calabria. Front three was Castillejo to the right, Çalhanoğlu left, Hauge, and up top Leao. Milan, I think, held strong for the first half. Obviously, Chiesa scored a really, really, really good goal in the first half with an amazing assist by Dybala. I think Theo was a bit of fault, but Dybala had some magic in his feet right there. And then Calabria scored a really good goal as well. It was a really good strike. No one was expecting it, but it was a top corner strike first time. And then in the second half, I think and I'd like to hear what you guys think about this, I think you could really see the difference in the subs. Because then there was a point where Juve put in 3 subs who would have easily made the first team. It was at a certain point, it was Kulusevski, Bernardeschi, and McKennie. And Milan put in a certain point Maldini, a certain point they put Colombo, and Kalulu, and there's just such a difference between those guys. Ronaldo was a ghost because Ronaldo didn't read.
Per disegnare il futuro devi essere pronto a cambiare prospettive. Se sei disposto a rompere gli schemi, nessuna meta è irraggiungibile. Nuova Hyundai Tucson Hybrid, on to better. Acquistala anche online con Hyundai Click to Buy.
Play. Chiesa decided to have a game of his life, scoring one really good goal and then a second really good goal too. I think Romagnoli had a bit of a sleep all game. I think he kept on trying to mark Dybala really tightly. Like, he went to the middle of a pitch just to mark Dybala, and every single time Dybala would get through. Like, there was a point where I was just, because Kier was man marking Ronaldo to the middle of the pitch, so someone had to mark Dybala. But yeah, Romagnoli just wasn't up to the standard. But at the same time, I personally, as a Milan fan, I'd really like to hear what Luca has to say. I am not that disappointed because we went into this battle with not all our weapons. We didn't have all our guns with us, so I don't feel as if it was not that fair, but it wasn't that right. And at the same time, I personally believe Juve is not that good this year. Juve is good because of its single players really popping off in certain games, like Ronaldo, like Chiesa this time. But I believe Milan, especially with those bunch of 20-year-olds we play with, we really kept our heads high. I'm really proud of the team. Also, I personally think, last thing, that our goal was there was a foul from Çalhanoğlu Rabiot.
Yeah.
But to compensate, Bentancur should have been sent off. Luca, what do you think of it?
Yeah, I have a couple key takeaways from this game. First of all, I just want to give props to Juve because they did play very well. And when you have those players that turn up for the matches, Dybala didn't score, but he had a wonderful game. He always does against us. Chiesa scores a beautiful brace. And yeah, so first of all, just want to say that Juve did deserve the win. Second of all, what Alessandro was saying, which I definitely agree with, is that not only were we missing a lot of players, from the start, so that makes an impact already on the game. The fact that we are missing more than half of our starting lineup. Well, maybe not more than half, but around half of our starting lineup. But then also the substitutes, right? Juve subs on 150 million worth of players, and we sub on, 20 million, all coming from Conti, who forgets to take his necklace off before going onto the pitch. So that's definitely a huge factor. And the last thing I wanted to also comment on, which also Ale commented on, is that the ref was not up to par. There was a foul, in my opinion, on Rabiot, on our goal, and that should have been called. At the same time, Bentancur should have been sent off, and even though it's not very important, there was a penalty at the end on Brahim. That wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game, but it's just to state that the referee really did not have a good game. At the end of the day, I come away from the match satisfied because Juve deserved. We were missing a lot of players. We still played decently. And most importantly, we didn't lose the top spot in the table because Inter lost to Sampdoria. So overall,
Çalhanoğlu got injured for the next game. Bad news.
Yeah, which is terrible news because he has been the heart and soul of our team.
It's Torino, so should be fine.
It's Torino, but it's Gianpaolo. I know it's Torino, but Gianpaolo is going to want to prove something against us, as it's right for him to do since we sent him away so early. I'm sure he'll come out in full force. But yeah, I think Juve showed that when they want to, they can really turn it on. And I'm interested to see if they can kind of build some momentum and get back up towards the top of the table.
Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the game. I thought it was an entertaining game to watch, but you could definitely tell Milan was missing a lot of players. I mean, when you're forced to play Calabria as a central midfielder, especially in a formation where you have two central midfielders, I mean, I don't think I have any. I don't think I have to say anything else. That's all you have to know.
He was quite good, though. I think I rewatched the game now.
Yeah,
he wasn't terrible.
Good.
Let's say
he was good. I think the issue is that when you're playing at a two-man defensive midfield, the movement together with Chiesa is so important. And Benacer, when they play together, it seems as if they're just connected. They move so perfectly. Most of the time, I was looking, and Calabria was completely out of position. Either he was too far up, too far back. Sometimes we were playing with a 5-back. Sometimes it looked as if he was further than Çalhanoğlu. And while I do want to give him a round of applause because he showed a lot of heart, scored our goal, you can tell he's not meant for that role.
I want to give a round of applause to Dalot for being the best Portuguese on the pitch.
He was the worst Portuguese on the pitch. Leao and Ronaldo were both better.
Shut up.
How good was Dybala's assist? This guy, every year, like these last years, the first half of the season, he's a ghost. And then against the top teams, he starts rediscovering himself.
I don't know what Milan did to him. He just hates us. He always has to.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's against every top team, man. He always starts reinventing himself in the second half of the season. He pops off against the top teams and then he goes on a roll.
Also, I just want to make it clear. This changes nothing. Chiesa is still the most overrated player in the whole of Serie A. This changes nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. And that's me being salty as well. All right, should we move on to the table? Emiliano, do you want to present the table for us?
Yes, doing it quickly because we spent a bit of time with the results.
Yep.
So obviously the top two dropping points. I think we choked it today or yesterday. Sorry.
Who's top?
Sorry.
Who's top?
Let's hear you say it.
I will not answer that question. Only under torture.
I plead the fifth.
Go on.
I'm just going to move on from the top two.
Okay.
Roma really showing up. Actually, the thing I wanted to say about Roma is they always are really good against small teams. Against the big teams this year, they haven't been great. That's like next week, I think we play them, and I really want to see how they play. Because if they do another Catenaccio counter against a big team, I'm going to be very disappointed. Because their attack is very good, actually. Then Juve getting one position, of course, with that win. Also Sassuolo doing the same thing, winning and getting one position. Napoli actually losing 2 positions because of that upset from Spezia, not Spal.
At home as well. Napoli was home.
I love that for me.
I was about to say Spal. I was this close. Then Atalanta keeping 7th, even though they won. Lazio getting one position. They're still very far from their goal.
Relax.
I think your biggest problem is the pace of the top four. Because you're not even that bad. Like 25 points, it's not great, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Then Hellas losing one position. Yeah, still very good season for them. I think they're still the best defense in the league, so nothing to say there. Benevento staying in 10th, really impressive this season. 21 points. I can't remember. I think we said it last week that they're quite close to the, let's say, safe zone. Samp with their win, not getting any positions though. Udinese gaining one with I think they tied with Bologna, so 2-2. They just swapped positions.
No, actually, that might be wrong there, because if they tied, I don't see how they swap positions.
Yeah. Anyways, they're 12th and 13th. Then Fiorentina, they stay 14th. Cagliari with a loss, they stay 15th. They're quite lucky not to drop any positions. Spezia getting 2 positions, and Parma and Torino losing those 2 positions. Toro, I think it was last week when they won 3-0, right? So they're moving a bit up. Still in the relegation zone though. And then Genoa and Crotone, which are the 2 teams I think are going to go down for sure. Just staying down there.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see Genoa there, but who knows what the market will bring us. All right, should we get back to
sorry, if I could just clarify, that's my mistake on the table. Bologna is actually 12th and Udinese is 13th.
Okay, sorry for that.
All right, let's move on to the team of the week, guys. Obviously, our listeners won't be able to see the actual table, but it doesn't matter because actually the team of the week, sorry, but we'll still make it anyway. All right, goalkeeper, who are we nominating? I already said mine, but I think Provedel should be up there. Special mention to Audero, but I think Provedel had a really good game.
I want to nominate 2, Szczesny and Audero, but any of those 3 is good for me.
What do you say? Oh, sorry.
Let's hear from Johnny. I'd like to hear from Johnny here.
I think Audero.
All right, so what about you?
Personally, I'm going to vote Szczesny because I think he was really incredible. There were no outstanding saves, but Çalhanoğlu must have shot on target, I don't know, 8 times. And Szczesny was always there ready. Audero and Provedel had bigger results because they took down big teams. So I understand if one of them gets in, but definitely a shout for Szczesny.
Yeah, I think it's Audero for the pen save. Audero for the pen save for me.
Yeah, I think
that's the difference.
All right, boys. Then what about defenders? Who are we nominating? I think one guy who should be going there, and I think there's no doubt about it, is Di Marco with that absolute wonder strike. I think there's no way he doesn't get there. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
All right. You guys want to nominate anyone else?
I think Di Marco together.
Wait, say it again.
Go ahead.
I think it's like Di Marco together. I don't think there's a space.
All right.
Yeah.
I definitely want to nominate Gozens for the second week in a row. He has a goal and an assist. I think once again he was absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'd agree with that as well. I think there's no going against that. All right, last defender. Who are we nominating? There's been a couple defenders who scored again. Bremer scored. Tomiyasu scored. There's a lot of people defenders who had good games as well.
The league was ridiculous.
Yeah, the league was really good. Who are we nominating, guys?
Since we didn't put Szczesny, I would put a Juve player in the back line.
All right, should we put
the league was ridiculous.
Even though Milan was missing a lot of their attack, it's still one of the best attacks in the league. So,
okay. Let's get down to midfielders then. Who are we nominating, guys? Is there anyone specific? I think, first one I think that has to go there as a right mid is Chiesa. I think there's no argument against that. It hurts me to do it, but Chiesa has to go there. All right, who's next?
Johnny, I heard a lot of praise from you for Luis Alberto.
He didn't get on the board, though. I mean, the second goal was basically his. He did a corner, and nobody got it. And I think at Cherby deviate, or he touched it kind of, and then Immobile scored. If nobody has any objections, I think Luis Alberto, he was really like man on a mission. that
All
game.
right. Oh,
Yeah. This year, surprisingly, compared to last year, where he had 17 assists at the end of the year and maybe 6 or 7 goals, he doesn't have that many goal contributions. In fact, I think he has 0 assists, but he's always the best player in the midfield for Lazio.
Yeah,
I think
our team was just
next up-
worse than last year.
Guys, I think next up it has to be oh jeez, what's his name again? I forgot completely. There was one player I really had in my mind, but I really wanted to say. Oh, guys, so you guys nominate someone else. I'll think about it.
Pereira, Udinese, maybe?
No. It was Damsgaard. I really wanted to nominate Damsgaard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's left, right? I know he plays on the right, I think. But
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's
For me, it's him or Candreva, but I'd give it to Damsgaard.
Yeah. Okay, and then last midfielder. Who are you guys saying? Everyone
Maybe Calabria, honestly, although he didn't play.
Yeah, should we put Calabria there for the jokes as well?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, come
Roger
on,
Rossonera as well.
Calabria come over.
I
Let's
guess
go.
just to congratulate him for
Yeah,
trying.
yeah. Absolute legend. All right, up top, I think one guy that deserves it is. Oh, jeez, I'm having a bit of a brain fart. Oh yeah, Borja Mayoral. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a brain
For
fart.
sure,
today.
100%.
Borjito needs it. I think there was no
2
way.
goals, gets the penalty. Second goal
Right.
was incredible as well.
Left wing, I'd say Boga. Anyone object to that?
Yeah,
Go
I
on,
agree
let's
with
go.
that.
You guys, what are you saying?
Yeah, Boga was good.
Yeah.
All right. Boga is going in there as well. And then we need one last striker in that pile. Who are we saying, boys? I think it could be between Muriel and
Didn't
Zapata.
Duvan do? No, maybe I'm.
Yeah, Duvan and Muriel both scored. I think it's going to be Muriel just with the absolute ease he scores.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd put Muriel. I want to give a shout out to Marco Sau, who at 55 years old maybe goes back to his old team. And other than the goal, he had a great performance with Benevento.
Yeah. You want
He's
to
one of those mysterious players. I remember him, I don't know, 5 years ago at Cagliari, and then I have no idea what happened to him, and he just comes back and scores against them.
Well, you know what they say? O Maleo Simpalao ha segnato Marco Sau.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And you're saying
Okay. After this one, we can move on, boys. And I think we're going to go on to our predictions from last week. Because we don't have that much time. We'll get an actual discussion in next time. But our predictions from last week, and before Luca goes on and tells us about our predictions, I just want to say one thing. I didn't do the worst predictions this week, and I think this is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. My record has been so bad. I always go much less than everyone else. But Luca, tell us how our predictions are going.
Yeah, disclaimer, first of all, that Emiliano was not able to send in his predictions as he was in Mexico. So Sergio, who was our replacement for last week, we counted his predictions as Amy's. I'm sure Amy's not happy about that considering the results, but it was the only way. So yeah, sorry, Amy.
Yeah,
But
I appreciate Jurgen for doing the episode.
Yeah. Hopefully you can recover in the next weeks. So Cagliari Benevento, unsurprisingly, we all got wrong. I think we all predicted either a tie or a Cagliari win. Moving on, Bologna Udinese, we have 2 correct guesses in terms of the tie, but only one perfect guess, which is Artes, so congratulations. And Johnny got that incorrect. Then with Lazio Fiorentina, we all guessed the Lazio win, so everyone gets a point there. Crotone Roma, we all guess a Roma win, except Arda for some reason. I cannot tell you why.
I think that the 6-2 loss against us really inspired Arda to predict. The 6-2 loss against us really inspired Arda.
really got my confidence boosting.
Yeah, he really said, "Oh, this Crotone is a wonderful team. They're gonna go beat Roma."
Move on.
And Amy / Sergio guessed that perfectly. So nice guess there. Then Samp Inter, once again, unsurprisingly, everyone gets wrong. Moving on, Atalanta Parma, I get it correctly, so perfectly correctly with 3-0, and everyone else got it partially correctly, so they all guessed Atalanta would win. Then Torino Hellas, which was, I think, maybe the first time 2 of us guessed it totally correctly. So both Johnny and I guessed the 1-1. Arda guesses the tie. Amy / Sergio did not, so they don't get any points there. Sassuolo Genoa, 2 errors from Johnny and Amy and Sergio. Another perfect guess from Marta. And I guessed Sassuolo win. Then Napoli-Spezia, once again, everyone got it wrong. And finally, Milan-Juve. I am the only one who was pessimistic enough, correctly pessimistic enough to guess a Milan loss. And so I get a point there. Everyone else doesn't.
Yeah, I think I got a tie there. I think I said we were going to tie 0-0. I did mention the goalkeepers are going to have a really good game.
Yeah, so if we look at the standings real quick, we have... Well, I had 11 points in the week. Arda had 9, and Johnny and Amy both had 6. So now we have 37 for me in first place, 33 for Amy in second, who was sabotaged by Sergio, though, and 25 by Johnny, 21 for Arda.
Yeah, I'd like to mention, Johnny, I'm coming for you, bro. My goal is not get lost in predictions ever, okay?
And I was sabotaged by chat when they got me 2 points.
Shut up. All right. Well,
look at it.
You should have been on a podcast. Well, I don't have any excuses because I was here every single time and mine is shit. Okay? I wish I could say someone sabotaged me. I'm my worst enemy. All right, let's get to the new predictions of the week. First game we're looking at Benevento against Atalanta. The order we're going to go in is Luca, Jonathan, Amy, and then me. Luca, what are you saying?
I predict the 90th minute Atalanta winner 2-3.
2-3. Jeez, you think Benevento is going to score 2?
That might be a mistake.
Drugs.
I'm saying 1-3.
Ooh, I like that. What about you, Amy?
I'm going 1-4.
I have to agree with my good friend Jonathan. I'm going to say 1-3. Well, I always say good friend every time. It's as if you guys forget. All right, Genoa against Bologna. This could be either a bore fest or an absolute goal fest.
Bore fest.
I really hope I could say Bologna gets their first win in 7 games, but away at Marassi, I can't see it. So I'm going to go with a 0 for Genoa.
How much?
2-0.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. What about you, Jonathan? What are you saying?
This is the most coin flip game. I think this is the hardest game to predict. I'm just going to say 1-1.
Yep. What about you, Amy?
I'm extending Bologna's unbeaten streak, and I'm going with 0-0.
Ooh, it's a shame. I'm actually going to watch all these games as well. You know what? I want to say a draw. At the same time, though, playing against Genoa, I'm going to go for 2-0. I'm going to be original. All right. Milan against Torino. Luca, what are you saying? Remember, we're playing against Maestro Gianpaolo.
Yeah, I just can't bring myself to not predict the win. I think they will score, so I'm going to go 2-1.
Yep. What are you saying, Jonathan?
I think 2-0.
What are you saying, Amy?
I agree with that, 2-0.
Boys, I think it's going to be 1-0.
Oh.
Biggest match of the weekend, Roma against Torino. What are we saying, Luca?
Roma against Inter.
Sorry, Roma Inter.
Roma against Inter.
Torino on my mind.
Must-watch game. Come back to me.
Okay, jeez. Jonathan, what's up? Johnny, if you say come back to me, I'm shutting this thing down.
2-2.
All right, Amy, what are you saying?
We always struggle to beat Roma, but I believe 1-2.
Ooh, sexy. What about you, Luca? Am I coming back to you or am I going first?
Yeah, you can come back to me. I think this will be Inter's show of force, 1-3.
I'm going to flip that. I'm going to flip what you just said. I'm going to say 3-1. Right. Parma against Lazio. What are we saying? Luca.
Well, new manager for Parma, so potential honeymoon phase. But I think Lazio gets a close win, 0-1.
Nice. Jonathan?
Man, we never keep a clean sheet. I'm going to say 1-2.
What about you, Amy?
I'm going 1-1.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go on 0-2. So I think Lazio's going to win 2-0. Okay, Udinese against Napoli. This could be really interesting. This could be a spicy game. What are you saying, Luca?
I think it has to be a Napoli win because otherwise, Gattuso has to start getting a little worried if they get 2 points dropped in a row. So I'm going to go 1-3 again.
Okay. Is Insigne going to get him a score sheet?
Yeah, he will. Penalty.
Nice. What are you saying, Jonathan?
0-2.
You too. Okay. What about you, Amy?
I agree with Luca. 1-3.
Okay. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. I think Napoli see black and white and they go in a bit of a crisis. So I'm gonna go for 2-2. I'm gonna go spicy.
And if it does end 2-2, do you think that then Gattuso should be a bit worried?
If it is 2-2, you know what it
No.
is. Right now, their other option if they want to get a manager is Sarri. At the same time, they have so many good injuries as well. I don't think they should get worried.
Mhm.
I think they should be worried. Also, we don't know what Osimhen's going to do in terms of his behavior and COVID and stuff. So we'll just have to see. All right, Verona against Crotone. This could be a very interesting game. Again, Crotone, a bit like Verona Spezia. Crotone, a team that has to really have to show that it doesn't deserve to be relegated, and Verona has to show that they deserve to be up there with the other big teams right now. So Verona against Crotone. What are you saying, Luca?
I don't think Crotone is scoring. Again, it's one of the best defenses in the league. If they do, it will be Messias, but I'm saying 2-0.
Okay. What about you?
You always
Jonathan?
steal my predictions.
I'm saying 2-1.
What are you saying?
Going first.
Amy, what are you saying?
I wanted to go with a 2-0, but I'm going to go 1-0 because Luca took
Who's
it.
scoring? Who's scoring? I think Barak.
Hope so.
Yeah,
Zaccagni, dude.
it's okay.
I'm going to go for 3-1 for good old Verona. Okay, Fiorentina against Cagliari. Also, let's do a little bonus point here, okay? I will award the bonus point if you guess the scorer as well for this one. You can get 2 bonus points if you guess the scorer. And if you, no, actually, you'll get 1 bonus point if you guess the scorer, 2 bonus points if it's a first scorer. If you guess that he's-
For only this game.
Yeah, just for this game, because I think it's one of the most exciting games out there.
Okay.
Fiorentina against Bologna. That's Cagliari. What are you saying, Luca?
1-0, Vlahovic penalty.
Vlahovic penalty. Okay. Someone write these down, by the way. Jonathan, what are you saying?
Man,
Don't
French
blow it-
is
don't
so
blow it
bad,
to
man. You can't imagine how bad these guys are. I'm
You reckon no.
I'm saying 0-2. Draw Pedro. First score.
Pedro, first score. Okay,
Alright.
Amy, what are you
Yeah,
saying?
whatever.
I'm going 1-1. And I don't know why Castrovilli and Nainggolan come to mind. I don't know who's going to score first, though.
You can say they're gonna. One of them is gonna score. You don't have to say that it's gonna score first. It's just better if they score first.
Castrovilli.
I like the way you think. I think it's gonna be a 3-all. I think there's gonna be a lot of goals.
3-0.
I think that Castrovilli will score. I am sure of that. But my prediction is gonna be, I'm gonna say that Castrovilli will score first. But mark my words, Nainggolan will score like the second goal, like the second time.
yeah.
Has Fiorentina even scored 3 goals all year?
Nope. Yeah, they have.
Yeah,
Juve.
against Juve.
Juve.
If you take away Juve and you sum all the goals, no, also Inter.
All right.
Yeah, they had
but
2 high
Cagliari
scoring
does not have Godin. Cagliari does not have Godin. And they got like a red card, I think, against
Nandes.
Benevento or something. Yeah,
No,
Nandes.
it's absolute
All right.
idiot. Honestly, for that
Let's
red card.
go on to we just mentioned them. Let's go to Juve against Sassuolo, also known as Scansuolo or Juve B. Luca, what are you saying?
2-0. Ronaldo brace.
Ooh, what are you saying, Johnny?
4-1. Sassuolo always bends over for you.
Yeah. What are you saying, Amy?
Yeah. I'm going 3-2, but not a close game.
I'm gonna go for 4-0. I think it's gonna be an absolute bloodfest. We'll be saying for Spezia against Sampdoria. It is our last game, and it's also a derby of Liguria. I think it's gonna be a really good game. What are you saying, Luca?
Okay, for Spal Sampdoria.
Spezia Sampdoria.
No. I know what I said.
He's a clown. He's a clown.
No, I'm gonna go for a draw. I'll say I don't think I've predicted a draw yet. Yeah, no, I haven't. So I'm gonna go 1-1.
What are you saying, Johnny?
Man, I also think it's a draw. 2-2.
What are you saying, Amy?
I'm going 1-2.
Oh, yep. 1. So you say Sampdoria's gonna win?
Yeah.
I think Spezia is going to win in their house because we're finally in their stadium. I'm going to say 2-1 to Spezia. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally done with our predictions, and we got some interesting ones all over the board. So please do send us in your predictions, and we'll look at them next week. But it is really sad for me to say this, but we are at the end of the episode, the fifth installment of the Catenaccio series. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always. We got games this weekend again I'm really looking forward to. And we are still top of the league, so I hope this continues. But before I have to shut this thing off, I'd like to thank the panel, which as always keeps us a lot of company and we're always great to listen to. So first of all, Luca, sign off.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Emiliano.
Bye. Happy to be back. Thanks for listening.
Happy New Year. Jonathan, what's up?
Bye, guys. God willing, Lazio wins again next week.
Yeah, God will not willing. I've been your host for today, Ale, and as always, we have to thank Radio Rossonero for the opportunity. Thank you very much, guys. You guys have a good night, have a good weekend, and long live football. Bye-bye.